Hi and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be looking at who's headed your way and what do they want to say. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the cherry quartz, along with these cards. Group 2 is the purple fluorite, along with these cards. And group 3 is the clear quartz, along with these cards. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the cherry quartz along with these cards, which I'll start with to get an idea about who's headed your way and kind of an introduction to what they want to say to you. Got the Page of Wands, so fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. King of Swords, air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Ace of Swords, so more air energy. 6 of Wands, so more fire energy. Rainbow, blessings. Caring connections. And Goddess of the Moon. So just very quickly with Goddess of the Moon, this can also relate to the moon in tarot. So this could be in regards to a Pisces or a Cancer that you're dealing with as well. With the Page of Wands, it feels that it will be really good to hear from this person. This could have been somebody that you have been estranged from for a while. You've been holding out hope that your paths would cross again. This could be somebody where things didn't necessarily end poorly between you, but just life took you both in different directions. This can be somebody from kind of your distant past. maybe somebody from childhood, kind of young love, somebody that you dated a while ago. And sort of with this energy of going from this immature sort of stance of the page over to the king, where time may have passed years or even decades for some of you, to where life has really shaped the two of you. You've grown biologically in years. Your circumstances have changed. Maybe you've even moved on into other connections with other people. You've built a life with other people. You've gotten married, maybe even gotten divorced, maybe even had children with others, and now find yourselves at a point in both of your life where you're once again single, you're once again available. And it seems that this person has kind of always had you on their mind. You've always been in their heart. It's been a sense of wondering what could have happened in this circumstance if maybe the two of you had decided to make things work. Again, maybe distance had been a factor. Maybe you two went to school in two different locations, or your families moved, or just in some way, maybe something with a job opportunity in life kind of drove you both apart. But there was always that sense of wondering what could have come out of this situation. And again, based on sort of life circumstances, this person maybe even having looked you up online, kind of been watching you from a distance for a while, doing some investigative work to see, are you single? Are you available? And it sort of feels somebody like maybe it was right person, wrong time before, but that now at this point in time, the circumstances are right for the two of you to have some kind of victory or celebration together, to come back together and sort of rekindle that romance, rekindle that fire, that flame that you once shared, that caring connection. This feels like with the Ace of Swords, some kind of truth that this person wants to speak to you, to deliver to you, that again, you've always been in their heart. They've been thinking about you. You've always kind of been in the back of their mind. They've always been curious about what happened to you. And again, with this idea of Page of Wands and Rainbow, that it will be very good to hear from this person. This doesn't really feel like anyone that an apology will be very necessary for, although it does feel like there'll be sort of a period of time with the moon of needing to catch up, make up for lost time, to really share with one another what has been happening in your lives since you kind of parted ways. This does feel, though, that if there was some kind of like a fight or a disagreement that had kind of put you both at odds, and in some way you've matured in some way, and it'll be very easy to kind of clear the air between the both of you. It'll be very easy to see things from that higher perspective. There's a sense of almost letting bygones be bygones, and that it's, despite kind of maybe a sour note, or, just this kind of air of disappointment, maybe even defeat and loss that you had kind of ended things on previously, that again, you've been in this person's heart. It feels like they've been in your heart. You've thought about them over time, maybe over the years that have passed. And so to have this opportunity to come back together once again, the circumstances being right in both of your lives, to give this relationship a new chance, to give it another shot at love, to see if this time, if you can make it work, if the ways in which life and experiences shape the two of you, now the recipe is right for success. And again, a lot of hidden feelings that this person will, be revealing to you. A lot of things that they've reflected upon. Maybe ways in which, if this was kind of a young love and they just weren't emotionally equipped to handle and really show up as kind of the best version of self, they still had a lot of growth that needed to take place. A lot of battles that they needed to sort of fight within themselves. Things they needed to overcome. Some cycles that they needed to close out. It feels that they very successfully have done that, and that what they share with you, it's going to demonstrate that growth and maturity, that in some way they are able to also communicate their feelings in a more direct way. Maybe that had been a problem before, where this was kind of an emotionally immature person, emotionally unavailable, didn't have a lot of experience in love and romance, and didn't do the best job of communicating their needs, or really listening to your needs, and sort of meeting that on kind of this equal footing with one another. But that has somehow changed. There's a certainty about this person. They've really come into their own. If this had even been somebody who, maybe distanced themselves from you in the past because they said they just weren't ready for the intensity of the connection. They weren't ready to settle down. They still had other things they needed to accomplish in their life. It feels like with the King of Swords, they've accomplished a lot of that, and they're now at this place of being ready to invest fully, or more fully rather, into this connection with you. that they may have achieved a lot of other success in other areas of their life, things they'd been working toward, things regarding career or even their financial status, some sort of accolades or acclaim or even a position that they had been working toward that now they have achieved that victory. And there's almost this desire to have somebody to share that kingdom with, somebody to share those riches with, that victory with, and that they might have found themselves really kind of, on top of the world, so to speak, but very lonely. And so it has kind of created this this urge within this person to reach out, to try to reconnect with you, to try to rekindle the connection that you once shared, in order to again be able to sort of share in this celebration, to share their good news with you, to let you know about the changes that have happened, some goals that they have reached, some things that they have achieved, or even some things that might have stood in between you in the past, barriers or wedges that have either just kind of organically sort of closed out, cleared themselves out. Again, if it was kind of a course of study or a particular career path this person was pursuing, then they've achieved that pinnacle of success. They're not needing to devote themselves as fully to whatever that was, and it's almost like time has opened up. They have more time on their hands to be able to devote fully to this. This can also really talk as well with the hawk that is appearing in both of these cards here. Kind of this idea of this person reaching out maybe online, reaching out from a distance very unexpectedly, kind of shooting their shot and not really certain what will happen. Also not really, making their kind of their self-esteem or their self-worth contingent about that. Somebody who's really come into their own, who is just kind of taking a chance, just kind of putting their feelers out there in the hopes that you are available, that you are, receptive to them, that you're ready, that you're in a place where, you'd give this another chance. Somebody who wants to kind of bring the connection up to the next level, to experience one another in this energy of maturity. With this idea of a hawk as well, this can really talk about protection. And again, kind of seeing things from that wider sort of vantage point. And it feels that this person with this Ace of Swords also wants to deliver this truth to you, that perhaps they may even consider you the love of their life. And this could come as quite a shock, quite a surprise that, they've really held on to the times that they shared with you. They've held on to those precious moments, those memories. And for all the other experiences that they've had in life and love, no one has been able to kind of reach them at that same level. No one has been able to really tap into that depth of emotion and love and feeling within this person in the same way that you have. And so it's something where they have cherished you. They've kept you very close to their heart. And in revealing this, it definitely seems to open up the lines of communication between the both of you to a very positive energy, a lot of potential here for kind of a deepening of the bond, a resurfacing of this bond, a recommencing of this bond. And this doesn't, again, feel like somebody you're not going to want to hear from. Even if you're sort of in that energy right now of not really sure if you'd want to hear from them, when they approach that change in the energy that they are able to demonstrate, this element of maturity and truth and clarity, being very decisive, being very clear, somebody who's perhaps worked on their communication skills a bit, or as kind of time has passed or in any kind of distance or separation, they've had the chance to really evaluate things and to come to that understanding of how much you mean to them, how much this connection means to them, how much even the friendship that you had meant to them at some point in time, and the ways in which they are able to communicate this, provide some truth and some clarity and some demonstration that they have reflected upon things, that they have grown, that they have evolved, that all of this moves you beyond any kind of place of skepticism. It brings, this is somebody who's willing to kind of talk about the difficult aspects, talk about difficulties you've experienced together in the past. Somebody who is, very interested in kind of working their way through this, through kind of this dialogue, this back and forth, this reciprocity. Somebody who's, not only speaking their truth, but is presenting in the energy of being a good listener, wanting to hear your side of things, honoring your emotions, giving you space to sort of express these things so that the two of you can kind of move beyond that and open the door to a new cycle, either of kind of a rekindling of a deep friendship between the both of you, or this can also really lead to kind of opening the door to giving this relationship a chance. Again, if this had been sort of right person, wrong time, or things had kind of gotten in the way, gotten in the mix, they'd made a decision to kind of move in another direction. It doesn't really feel like in the direction of another person, but just something else that they were pursuing, some other area of their life. They didn't feel that they had what it took to really make this relationship work, or they had some growing and some maturing that they had to do. That all of that is really going to be brought out to the surface, talked about and cleared away, so that, you know, at this point in time, the energies are right within both of your lives and within each of you individually, to really have the potential and opportunity to build and experience something very beautiful together. So let's take a look and see, what does this person want to tell you from their higher self, group 1. Okay, and they say, I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. So confirmation right there of somebody who's been doing some investigation, somebody who has never forgotten you. You've always been in their heart. It's again this energy of no one has been able to hold a candle to what they experienced with you emotionally. And so as other kind of circumstances have kind of cleared out in their life, and they're at a place of wanting someone to really share in these victories with, or, you know, they're finding themselves maybe single for the first time in a while, or, you know, just some other things have kind of closed out in their existence, and they now have sort of the time and the ability to, you know, invest in sort of looking you up. They have the time and ability to invest more in this connection than they had in the past. So somebody who at this point in time is doing that research, you know, maybe even trying to find your contact information, trying to find a way to reach out to you. You might have changed your phone number. Again, a lot of time might have gone by to where they're having to do that kind of preliminary work, that kind of planning stages in order to find out, you know, how to reach you, how to track you down. They also say, is it possible to forgive and forget? So again, this desire to really clear the air, to clear up any misunderstandings, to express to you some kind of truth that they have always held you in their heart. They have never forgotten you. That they want to do over in this situation, that they appreciate you, they see the potential now, and that they're at a place in their life where they're ready to give more of themselves than they had in the past to the situation, in whatever capacity that resonates. And they also say, your words linger in my mind. So they are thinking back on the times that you shared, the friendship that you had, the intimate discussions, maybe talks about life and love, some profound wisdom that you shared that has really stuck with them. It's inspired them. It's been something where, again, they've not been able to forget you. They've not been able to forget this connection. And, you know, curiosity is just now built up to the point where they're wanting to take action in that regard, and to reach out, to make contact, to not let even more time go by with this kind of energy of what if. Okay, and they say, I've committed to someone else because they don't challenge me. So this can really talk about, again, the two of you having kind of gone your separate ways, maybe gotten into other connections, other marriages even, starting families with other people, and that those situations kind of came to an end. And it's left this person with a feeling of want, a feeling of lack, that other experiences in love that they've had have not really been able to match up to what they experienced with you. It's been something that has stuck with them. It's almost been the essence of you, in some level, have been a point of comparison for all others that they have attempted to give their heart to, that they've attempted to kind of have romance with, and maybe to some degree for whatever period of time that's been successful. But it is this energy of things really being lackluster compared to what they have experienced with you. And they say, I want you to see the real me now. I've been hiding from our love for too long. So again, that element of time and space and distance between the both of you. This feels like somebody who's been thinking about reaching out for a while. They may have been kind of trying to plan their moves. Maybe they were kind of looking you up online and saw something, and it almost feels like at some point in time previous to sort of the energies of right now relative to whenever you're watching this video, that this person had almost taken those steps to reach out, but that something might have maybe made them kind of back away or question things. Maybe you were in a connection with somebody else and they didn't want to come in and interrupt that. This could also be kind of some other aspects they were needing to work on within them, kind of boost their confidence, boost their self-esteem, to get to that point where is this energy is right here where they're willing to reach out and kind of speak their truth, deliver that even just very preliminarily, regardless of how you respond, how you react, that to hold that inside, to keep that inside, and to keep letting time pass, it just won't serve them any longer. So they have now kind of reached that place of preparedness where they're ready to shoot their shot, to give it a chance, come what may. They also say there's so much unspoken between us. I need to tell you how I really feel. So again, that element of the moon and a lot that they have hidden from you, this deep affection and admiration that they have for you. They've not been able to forget about you. You've stayed with them through all the seasons of their life, no matter who they've been with romantically, no matter what's been going on. Their thoughts keep coming back to you. And it feels that the energy is right within them. It's in some way they are feeling right within your life, whether they are able to observe that directly or just what they're feeling into energetically. That some motivation is happening for them to, again, speak these words, deliver that truth, the Ace of Swords, to kind of cut through any misunderstandings, to move you both in some way beyond wherever things were left, even if it was very natural, the ways in which the two of you gravitated away from one another, that they are at a point in their life or a point in their personal journey where now's the time to really step out of the silence, to, make the effort, to make the attempt to see what can grow from this connection at this point in time. Okay, and we have 1111, so you could be seeing signs of this person a lot, maybe getting some indications that they could be on the horizon, maybe seeing the number 1111 a lot. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you're watching this, these messages can pertain to you. If they resonate, then take them. If they don't fit your situation, then just leave that behind and maybe watch a different group or a different reading. But at the time that I'm recording this, it's late September, so the month of November might be significant. Specifically, November 11th or the 1111 portal, which we have coming up in a few weeks. That might create some kind of movement in this situation, or can really coincide with when this person sort of shows up almost very magically in your life. It feels like there might also be kind of an element of synchronicity. There's a sense too of this person really making a lot of plans and preparations for their return. And for some of you, this will be where the universe almost takes that energy of intent and sort of fast forwards, fast tracks. If this was somebody who maybe had been thinking about this for a while, had planned it previously and sort of backed out, that now they're in this energy of thinking about you again, thinking about making their move, and the universe almost stepping in to kind of align the two of you in a series of synchronicities in a very serendipitous manner, so that this person doesn't have that opportunity to kind of chicken out again. They have no choice but to speak that truth. The universe is kind of nudging the two of you along to this point of intersection, where the potential of what can grow or can come out of these circumstances and out of this, again, this truth that has been held inside is able to be made manifest. They also say, I want to again be the reason you laugh and smile. So they are again thinking about the good times that you shared, longing for that, this energy of nostalgia. Even if this is somebody not from your completely distant past, there's a feeling that with you they felt rejuvenated, they felt very youthful. It had the energy of young love in terms of possibilities, in terms of whatever heartbreaks had really kind of contorted the two of you and made you a little bit jaded or guarded as far as love goes, that in your presence all of that seemed to evaporate. It seemed to disappear, and it's been something they haven't been able to experience with anybody since. You make this person almost feel alive again, or you renew in them some kind of hope that a beautiful experience in love is possible. And it's this knowing that they have, this feeling that they haven't been able to shake, that is drawing them back to you once again. They also say, I miss you so much it hurts. So there is definitely a lot of anticipation that is building. This feels like somebody who doesn't want to allow the opportunity, the potential of what can grow between you pass them by again. Somebody who may feel that they allowed you to slip out of their life, their reality, slip through their fingers once before. and kind of somebody who's praying for that opportunity, praying for the courage and the strength, praying that you will be receptive to them. Because once they have that opportunity, once they're kind of back in your life and you both are working toward building something, reestablishing something with one another again, it's almost the sense of they don't want to let you go a second time. So I'm going to get some guidance for you now about the situation, group 1. And we have ear chakras. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. So this can talk again about that element of communication from afar, some kind of an email that comes in or an unexpected phone call from this person. There's a sense here that when you hear their voice again, that it's almost going to melt away any kind of disappointment that you once had maybe about the circumstances, that you're able to pick right back up where you left off. This can also be encouragement that no matter what has happened between you and this person in the past, no matter how guarded or hesitant or skeptical that you might be when they kind of reemerge in your life, you're really being guided to kind of listen with an open heart, listen with an open mind. Hear this person out, and kind of feel beyond the words that are spoken to really sense and anticipate the vibrational change and evolution that has happened in them. There's really a sense here that energetically you're going to be able to sense that this person is in a different energy from when you were last dealing with them, and it's almost that perception beyond, again, what is spoken, or maybe those kind of that initial awkwardness of really restarting the conversation again, or again some difficulties that might need to be touched on and kind of moved through, some elephants in the room that might need to be addressed depending on your particular situation, to just really stick with that, to recognize the effort and the courage that it has taken this person to reach out, maybe even to come forth with an apology if that's necessary, and then just really taking it step by step with them. Again, kind of, hearing what they're saying, looking at what is being demonstrated, but also really feeling beyond that into the energy, to this energy of certainty that this person now has, this energy of readiness, and really just also appreciating kind of, again, the strength and the courage that it has taken for this person to kind of come out of the past, come out of the silence, come out of wherever you have left things. There's a sense too that what they are conveying to you, that it's very much reliable, that this is coming from an honest place. This is not somebody who's going to be playing games with you, but they're very serious in their intention of really wanting to give this connection a second chance, really wanting to see what can build, what can grow from this. Somebody who is not only just going to express themselves, but is going to demonstrate that they are a good listener. And this may be something that was kind of a point of contention before, and just in sort of the step-by-step process of your interactions, you're going to really be able to witness the transformation in this person, see the growth, see the maturity, see how they're showing up in a different energy than they had previously. And again, this can also really talk about these signs and these synchronicities that you're getting. So pay attention to those things. If you're really feeling that this person might be kind of coming back from the past, or even after they sort of return, if you're getting a lot of synchronicity, seeing those angel numbers, seeing 1111, that energy of kind of reunion, and these breadcrumbs that the universe is providing both of you, kind of leading you to the next step of what is possible in this connection. The guidance here is that this is definitely trustworthy in some way, that this is kind of divinely orchestrated, that this person come either to just make some kind of peace or closure with you. Maybe it's just somebody, a romantic partner that now you've created a new friend, you're reestablishing a friendship with. Or if this is somebody where, again, it was right person, wrong time, the circumstances have somehow now shifted. Things have aligned. Things are, correct between the both of you. You're now at the place vibrationally and within your lives to really, if you make the effort with one another and you're consistent with one another, that there's some real potential here to grow and to build and to experience almost a depth of love that was possible before, but maybe was kind of hindered based on those previous circumstances. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 1. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got Q, S, F, D, C, Z, A, N, X, U, I, J, and B. So those are your messages, group 1. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation from what came through, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dreamcatchers, and suncatchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the purple fluorite along with these cards, which I'll start with to see who is headed your way and kind of an idea of sort of preliminarily what they want to tell you. I've got the sun, so Leo energy. The Hanged Man, which is Pisces. The Hierophant, Taurus energy. Nine of Wands, so fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Tree, grounding. The sun, so that can also be a confirmation of that Leo energy. And hostilities. So with hostilities and Nine of Wands, which is the Wounded Warrior card, this can be somebody that things did not end very well with. You could be a little guarded, a little kind of nervous about this person returning to your life, not really sure how receptive you are to that idea. When they return, you might obviously be a little bit skeptical about that. It feels that this situation has kind of served to help you strengthen your own discernment. The circumstances that might have occurred between the both of you could have really propelled you on some kind of a spiritual awakening, with the Hierophant kind of on this self-love journey, on a self-healing journey. You've really had to pick up the pieces of your life in some way. It may have taken you some time to, come to a place also with the Hanged Man of maybe forgiveness for this person, for what happened in the past, forgiveness for yourself for what you allowed from this person. That could be something you're still really working on, that it's kind of a tenuous sort of battle at this point in time, where you're going back and forth between being sort of at peace with what happened, at peace with the possibility that this person won't return to your life, that they won't see the light, they won't see the error of their ways. Coming to a place of peace with that, and then also kind of being in this energy of being sort of angry about what has happened between you, very frustrated about this, feeling that an apology is owed to you, and sort of the pressure that comes with that, the disappointment that hasn't been delivered up to this point in time. With this idea of tree, and kind of this image here of the branches, upward, and sort of the roots below. This can really talk about a 5D connection that you have with this person, something that might have been even sort of a struggle, where there are times that you're feeling their energy in a very kind of bright and fulfilling manner. There's a lot of hope, there's a lot of possibility. You felt that this person was returning on several occasions, only to kind of experience sort of that disappointment of them never showing up, or being able to even sort of energetically pick up and exchange with this person, both the highs that they are going through and also the lows. A lot of kind of like an empathic bond between the both of you energetically, where you may be feeling that you're kind of carrying the weight of a lot of this person's personal issues and kind of unhealed shadows. It almost feels that maybe you've been needing to do the work for the both of you, and that there's points in time where this makes you feel very victorious and very successful in terms of kind of the work that you're able to do to come to a place of peace and acceptance about this, to kind of distance yourself from that, kind of remove yourself from them energetically, and just kind of focus on your own healing and your own abundance and happiness. And then there are times where it almost might make you kind of resentful of having to kind of bear the burden and bear the weight of these things that this person is just not working on in themselves. They're not healing. Almost like they're kind of energetically expecting you to sort of carry some of that burden for them, to kind of do that work for them. And kind of, again, these polarities of sort of going back and forth, maybe back and forth between optimistic for their return and again, kind of skeptical about what would happen, what would ensue when the two of you really would sort of meet up with each other again, if that were to occur. On this Hierophant card here, also, there are two keys, one which is holding the sun in sort of the handle of that key, and the other one holding the moon. And so this can really talk about a twin flame connection, somebody you consider a counterpart, and it's kind of a twin flame journey that you've been on, this self-love journey that you've been propelled on. A lot of, again, shadow work that you've been doing to come to a place of acceptance in your life about what has happened in this circumstance, and even just in your life in general. A lot of kind of shadows and wounds, deeply embedded kind of things within your core that have been really triggered and brought to the surface within this person, or from this person, through your interactions with them, and kind of this process that you've gone through to come into that place of balance within yourself, and that it feels like you will be definitely in that balanced place within you, with kind of both of those keys. And again, this sort of this energy of as above, so below, that you really have you've done some great work on yourself, coming to a place of being okay, or as okay as you can be from day to day with what has happened with them in the past. And so also this can really tie into sort of that work that you've done within yourself is almost calling this person back in. There's something that you have done to really shift your vibration that has been energetically sensed by this person. It's almost this sense of them reaching out for your healing light, because now on some capacity they're kind of left alone with these shadows and these wounds, as you have maybe done some work to kind of release this, to heal yourself in different capacities, maybe even from this connection and situation, that it's been energetically registered with this person and has kind of shaken them in some way, to where they're coming out of this stance of hiding. They might have really blocked off communication between the both of you, been very resistant to this connection, resistant to a lot of this kind of healing work. But there's a sense of again, them sort of coming out of this hiding, maybe even having gotten some kind of other perspective. Again, this kind of mirrored energy, so sort of a twin flame journey that the two of you could be on, that some kind of illumination has happened for this person, some kind of an epiphany or an awareness that, maybe they'd taken you for granted in the past, that they could have done more or shown you more consistency in this situation in the past, but they kind of they left you hanging, they left you in the lurch, they left you sort of with the responsibility to kind of carry the weight and the implications of this very spiritual connection between you, but then somebody who was really just more content to kind of remain in that energy of defensiveness, kind of remain stuck in that 3D conditioning, those patterns, those ingrained habits, somebody who wasn't willing to kind of look at what was being mirrored to them in the past, but that something has really shifted and changed. It doesn't feel necessarily that a huge evolution has taken place within them. It almost feels that the work that you've done on yourself is again kind of shaking this person vibrationally. And so sort of the movement in your direction, the action in your direction, reaching out, it again doesn't feel like the energy at this point in time, at this stage where a reunion would happen between the both of you. But it does feel that it will be some kind of confirmation for you that, again, the work that you've done on yourself has been energetically sensed by this person. If you were questioning that, if you were doubting that, like all this effort that you put into yourself to kind of balance and to work through these things, does this affect this person in any way? Because you certainly feel affected by the work that they are not doing. You certainly have been the one to kind of do the heavy lifting for the two of you in some capacity. And so this communication, this person coming out of the shadows, reaching out, and no matter how kind of a small or even just an introductory kind of way, both of these sun cards are kind of tying into the idea of kind of that first light, those first kind of rays of dawn. Where it's not fully that this person has stepped into their power, that they've stepped into their truth, and that they're kind of owning their role in situations in their life and in this circumstance. But it's something. It's just kind of that first indication of movement happening, of this person, who might have just been kind of lurking in that shadowy energy, taking that step forward, coming out of that darkness and into the light, reaching for the light that you have cultivated within yourself as kind of that, almost that cry for help that they're not necessarily able to articulate, that it doesn't feel comfortable to be alone with these kind of shadows within them. It doesn't feel comfortable to be alone with those wounds within them. Somebody who's almost energetically just perceiving you as this guiding light, this lighthouse, this point that they want to move toward, either literally or even just vibrationally, that something has really shifted, that the two of you are kind of moving forward in this connection. There's still work that they need to do within themselves. But the more you are moving forward, that this kind of communication from this person is confirmation that in some way energetically they're almost pulled forward along with you. So let's see what they want to tell you from their higher self, group 2. Okay, and they say, seeing you reminds me of things I know deep down, and that's not always easy to deal with. So that is that energy of somebody who has been avoiding some shadow work, some ascension, closing out some cycles in their own life, almost leaving you to do kind of all the heavy lifting for the two of you in this connection. It feels that both of you really had this sort of awakening, this awareness when you crossed paths or when you were in proximity to one another at a certain point in time. And it feels that you chose to lean into this. You chose to do that work on yourself. You chose to do that shadow work and surrender to this process and this journey. And this person kind of moved into that other polarity. They chose the path of fear. They chose the path of resistance, pushing this away, blocking off communication, running from this circumstance and this connection. And it doesn't, again, feel like something they're going to be able to articulate in a 3D sense. But even just moving towards you energetically, reaching out, even if it's in the same vibration that you had dealt with them previously, even if it's just more of the same of what you had experienced previously, it feels that there's been changes and shifts within you so that your response is going to be different, even if their approach has not changed. And the fact that they are approaching is, again, that confirmation of the work that you've done within yourself. They're feeling that chasm between you energetically now. And this is somebody who's kind of reaching for that. Almost somebody who had pushed you away at one point in time is now saying, wait, don't go. They also say, I can't seem to find the right words to say to you. So somebody who's still kind of operating in this energy of denial, somebody who may feel very compelled back in your direction and they're not really sure why. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of profound truth to articulate at this point in time. And so again, it might just kind of be more of the same of what you were used to dealing with, but it's very significant and it's something to be noted, almost as kind of that boost or that confirmation for you to keep doing the work on yourself. For yourself first and foremost, to move in the direction of your own abundance, your own happiness, your own healing and well-being first and foremost. But it's this confirmation as well, in case you were wondering, that the shifts that you make are sensed by this person also. They say, I want to be authentic. I am no longer afraid. So this is that vibration of somebody who's reaching for your light, seeing you as a beacon on the horizon, a lighthouse, somebody who, as the further along that you go on your path, the more that you step into that higher version of self, you do the work on self, you heal those wounds and those shadows. It opens up the possibility to this person that healing is possible for them, that it's available for them. Somebody who really, wants that. They want to kind of move out of this discomfort that they hold within them. They want to move out of the patterns that had sabotaged this connection in the past or had kind of inhibited the growth of the potential that existed between the both of you. But it's something where they're still battling a lot of fear. There's a gap between that want and the ability and the mechanism to do something about that. But the desire is definitely there. This is somebody who's kind of been shaken out of their position, who's now starting to see that another way is possible. And it might be a small step, but it's a crucial first step toward, kind of picking up the pieces of their own life in whatever way that they need to, not just for the future of this connection, but for the future of themselves, for their own well-being, for the rest of their kind of earthly experience in this incarnation, that they're now being presented with the choice through the example that you are energetically setting. And for some of you, even that this person is able to directly observe that in some way they've been inspired by that to kind of reach out, to reach for you, to try and take even sort of a first clumsy step toward wanting to kind of emulate that, to kind of get on that path with you. Okay, and they say, you were my best friend, and I cherished our friendship above all others. So a deep soul connection that this person still feels with you. And what had happened in the past between you, this might be kind of a hard pill for them to swallow, a hard truth for them to really accept that they've been running from, that not only did they sabotage sort of the romantic potential that existed here, but they also really drove a wedge in between themselves and somebody who really had their best interest at heart, who really understood them and knew them at a soul level. And again, this doesn't feel like somebody who's going to necessarily be able to articulate that, but in the higher self, and that in those sort of higher realms, this is that truth that's kind of, it's in this process of sort of trickling down into that 3D person. That truth is kind of coming up against these barriers, these shadows, these things that they need to work on. And so this person definitely can approach with a lot of things. You may even get the feeling that there's more that they want to say, that they're just kind of hinting around things, they're skirting around things, they're not giving you the full truth of sort of their reason for showing back up in your life, or for making contact, or somebody who's kind of delaying or avoiding kind of getting to the heart of the matter, whatever it is that they want to speak to you. They also say, I couldn't go against my family to be with you. So that might have been kind of a wedge or a point of contention before, somebody who was kind of a people pleaser, somebody who was codependent, somebody who had a lot of naysayers in their life that, didn't really understand or appreciate the bond that you two shared. You could be from very different circumstances, very different worlds, something about you that, people in their life disapproved of, and they chose that path of fear as opposed to the path of love, as opposed to following their own heart despite how others were really able to accept or understand that. Somebody who's kind of had to live with the regret of that sour taste from having chosen this kind of very limited existence that sort of it surrounds, and it is influenced by the opinions of other people, what other people want for them, what other people determine should be the right type of partner or the right type of circumstance. And it's something that has really stayed with them. This is one of those shadows that they are needing to face and to address in their life in order to move forward in this situation. And they also say, time has brought me clarity about us. I made the wrong choices. So again, somebody who, is recognizing that the road that they chose, the approach that they took in this circumstance, that it didn't lead them to the best results. But there's still this chasm about knowing that they made the wrong choice and understanding what is necessary to do something better. They're at kind of that first step, that first stage, maybe even just kind of trying to come back in very nonchalantly as if nothing had happened, which might kind of, set off some and trigger some shadows within you, some things that are needing to be healed within you, kind of the sense of indignation that if they're coming back, why are they coming in the same energy that you left them with? Really kind of challenging you then to solidify the work that you've done, that certain cycles are over, certain things are no longer acceptable for this person, kind of that tough love approach. That can really help them then to see that the desire might be there to do something different, but it's going to require change on their part. Okay, and they say, I never wanted to hurt you. So this feels like somebody who, just maybe very unconsciously was kind of operating out of the energy of distortion. Particularly as it goes with this idea of, maybe family or friends that were disapproving of this connection, that this person just kind of followed suit with what other people wanted for them because it's all they've ever known. It's all they've ever done. Part of this person's challenge is really speaking their truth, taking back their power, stepping into that place of autonomy, recognizing that, they're the one that has to live with the consequences of the choices that they make. And if those choices are not in accordance with the truth of their heart, then it kind of leaves them in this space of dissatisfaction and wondering and want. It leaves them with all of this untapped potential and these kind of open-ended questions and sort of a trail of disappointments that have been following this person, of opportunities that they missed out on out of fear of what other people would think. Ways in which they didn't speak their truth out of kind of this fear of rejection, fear of being judged. And it's something where, as difficult as this might have been, as unfair as this might have been, as kind of messy as this process might have been with this person, or how kind of callous they might have been when they sort of cut off the situation with you, that deep within, this was not in accordance with their heart. This was not in accordance with, what their soul wanted and what their higher self wanted, that what you encountered, what you experienced, what you dealt with was almost the mask of distortion that this 3D version of them had kind of been walking around in, and still to a certain degree is walking around in the world. Kind of this energy of self-sabotage and, again, inauthenticity. And they also say, I know we're twin flames. So these might be words that they are not able to speak at this point in time to you, but some kind of an awareness exists within this person of this deep soul bond that the two of you share, that they're very challenged by you and at the same time very inspired by you. They can't get you out of their mind despite everything that has happened, despite what they've done, despite how they may have sabotaged this in order to kind of fit in with other people's expectations, that this empathic bond exists between the both of you. They still feel you. They still think about you. This can add to equal measure of kind of frustration and delight for the two of you at various points in time. Again, this sense of, maybe that you have been feeling some resentment at having doing a lot of this work for the two of you. Not really certain kind of what the purpose of all of this is, what the point of all of this is, efforts that you may have taken to kind of move in another direction, to kind of cut the cords of attachment between you and this person, to free yourself from this person energetically. A lot of that in their own way, they have tried to do this as well to no avail. And so it's this sense of somebody who's kind of moving into that place of surrender, that as they make that contact with you, as they kind of maybe get some sort of confirmation that it's going to require a lot more than just showing up in that previous vibration. It's going to require action. It's going to require demonstrations of change in order to experience change results in this circumstance. That's that energy of tough love that is necessary. That's that challenge that is set. You've raised the bar in some level in your own life, and now this person is being tasked with doing the same for themselves. And they also say our connection is infinite. So another confirmation there of this awareness this person has of this deep soul bond between you. They see signs about you all the time. They can't get you out of their mind. They are constantly thinking about you and being reminded of this situation, that as much as they might try to run or try to kind of dwell in that energy of distortion, to remain in that people-pleasing energy, sticking with connections and ways of living that are acceptable to those around them, or that they feel, just kind of fit in with the mold or the role of what they are trying to really project and portray out into the world. That despite all of that, they're being called in another direction. They're feeling the work that you're doing energetically. The two of you are really supporting each other from those higher realms. And it's the 3D self then that needs that work. It needs that polishing. It needs that kind of clearing away. And it definitely feels, again, work you've done on yourself has registered to this person. It has rippled to this person energetically. And what they may demonstrate to you, although it doesn't feel that it will be this specific and this direct, kind of the undertone there, the words that they're not speaking, what's kind of dwelling beneath the surface is this soul knowing, this soul recognition, their soul being called forward to you through the work that you've done on yourself to kind of level up in some way, that you're attached to this person. You are, your souls are connected. So where you go, they go. So I'm going to get some guidance for you now, group 2, about the situation. Okay, and we've got law of attraction. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. So this really confirms everything that came through in this reading about the work that you're doing on you is really creating change within this person. It's creating this desire for change. It is being felt. The energetic ripples are being received by this person, perhaps not consciously, but energetically. They are really sensing that shift. And it is compelling them to make some change, even breaking the silence to just reach out in a very benign way, something very surface level, or even for some of you trying to come back in the energy that you were in once before, only to kind of be confronted with the fact that you've changed and therefore change is required on their part to kind of meet that vibration. That all of this, as much as it might be something where you're kind of avoiding, you don't really want to hear from this person, all of this is really confirmation that, again, you are raising your vibration, and things that are attached to you, that are connected to you, are now kind of coming to the surface, perhaps even in other ways, to kind of clear some patternings for yourself, to provide confirmation to you, even through what is demonstrated of just how far you've come. This is not really meant to be something which, causes you to backslide in some way, but this is going to be an experience which really helps you to appreciate all the work that you've done within you, to really understand that, when you are doing this work, that it does have an effect on kind of the totality of you, and that includes the soul which you are entwined with. So just to continue to move towards your greatest abundance, towards your healing, and towards your happiness. If this person is unable to kind of pick up the pace and do the work that is necessary, if they're unable to really touch on that new vibration that you're holding and kind of do what's necessary to rise and meet you, this is also really confirmation that, this circumstance with this person might be what is necessary to kind of close the door on this, perhaps for the rest of this incarnation, or for a period of time. Maybe something, it helps you to kind of release some of those resentments, release some of that expectation, so that you're able to move in a direction of attracting a new experience in love, new experiences in your life. You're able to really fully focus on things that you do want to create. Any ways in which you've kind of been ruminating about this, kind of entertaining this energy of longing, and the way in which this person shows up, again, it might kind of confirm for you that your attentions are better served focusing on other things. So for the next stage of your life going forward, this experience with this person will help you in some way move toward a horizon that you are seeking to experience. So I'm going to get some initials for you now, group 2. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. I've got F, W, P, T, J, N, Q, S, V, A, U, I, Y, and O. So those are your messages, group 2. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the video to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation with what came through, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the clear quartz along with these cards, which I'll start with to get kind of a general overview of who is headed your way and kind of see what do they want to tell you. Got the Knight of Pentacles, so Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The Lovers, which is Gemini energy. Five of Pentacles, so more Earth energy. The Magician, so more Gemini energy. Mountain, Strength. Financial Constraints. And Adjacent Possibilities. So this could definitely be a soulmate or a twin flame who is making their way back into your world with kind of this double confirmation of Gemini with the Lovers and the Magician. This could be somebody that you've been at a distance from for a while. They may have an apology that is owed to you that has been a long time coming with that Knight of Pentacles. Somebody who's kind of stubborn, very resistant, kind of wants to do things their way, almost this energy of my way or the highway. Somebody who, you know, you'd given them a lot of chances. You'd held the door open for them for quite some time to no avail. Somebody who just, you know, was very, again, kind of stubborn and resistant. Somebody who was not willing to kind of put in the work or do what was necessary internally in their life in order to make the changes that were necessary in their circumstances or in their mindset or in the ways in which, you know, they were giving of their heart or their time or their attention or efforts to this connection. And it's something to where you may have needed to sort of close the door to your heart. You may have, you know, been focusing on kind of manifesting in new love for yourself, you know, seeking to really cultivate some abundance for yourself. And that this kind of shift in focus, that in some way, it's almost like this person coming in kind of just right at that kind of the 11th hour, almost this Hail Mary pass, almost when you've really just given up, when there's really not much more you can invest in this situation, you can give to this situation, and this person comes along. This energy almost of finally they come along. Finally, they're able to demonstrate something to you. It feels that it will be something substantial, maybe again some kind of an apology or some kind of a direct communication that demonstrates that there is the potential to move beyond whatever you have faced in the past, whatever challenges you have faced in the past, whatever sort of a feeling of lack that existed in this connection in the past, a lack of effort, a lack of reciprocity, a lack of time or attention. Maybe even things that had really kind of stretched them out in terms of their resources. You know, maybe this could have to do with kind of an ex-partner, an ex-spouse. You know, maybe some kind of a marriage they had been in, or a family dynamic even that had really been kind of pulling them in a direction other than this connection, where they'd be having to invest so much of their time and their resources and their attention in that circumstance at the expense of this connection. But that what they come forward with, it restores and renews some kind of possibility that there is something to salvage in this connection. That sort of the future you had resigned yourself to, that this is going to be a connection maybe that's been frozen in time for a while. There was a lot lacking. There was not much left to go on. You couldn't give much more to this. That in some way this opens up the possibility of something different. It restores hope. It renews hope in some way. In you about what is possible, about how committed this person is, or kind of the growth in the next stage, the next chapter between the both of you. With this idea of mountain, this can talk about somebody who lives at a distance from you, or that there's a lot of challenges that maybe were keeping you apart in the past, a lot of circumstances, maybe even something to do with work where they needed to relocate, or they were having some kind of financial difficulties, or were in the process of trying to establish themselves in some way in their career, in their profession. Maybe they'd been fired or laid off, or just something happened with like a switch in their job, and they really needed to devote themselves fully to that for a period of time, and it had come at the expense. They almost needed to sacrifice this connection for that, but that they have overcome these struggles in some way. If this is someone who, maybe had to relocate for work or something of that nature, this is somebody kind of reaching out from afar, coming across the distance, finally being able to, recognize the sacrifice that is most worthwhile, and it is not whatever they had chosen before, that to invest more fully in kind of these other pursuits, it had left them with a feeling of lack in an emotional space, a feeling of almost having made the wrong choice, having moved in the wrong direction, and that in some way the challenges that they once saw as insurmountable, they are now in a position of being able and willing and ready to kind of work through these things, to try to compromise about these things, to talk these things out, to see what can be done to come to that place of compromise. Somebody who, maybe had kind of reached some sort of a manifestation. They've come into that place of stability. They've worked through some of these financial difficulties, those constraints. Things have become a lot more steady. Maybe they had been kind of dealing with a lot of debt at one point in time, and they've manifested some kind of abundance for themselves, to where that pressure that was kind of taking them away from this connection, from investing in this, has been rendered obsolete. It's now something where they feel they have the strength, the courage, and the ability to give something more of themselves than they had in the past. Whether that has to do with how they are able to financially show up in this connection, that those circumstances have changed, and this is something that they're coming forward to let you know that their fortunes have changed, the tables have turned for them. They're in a much better place within themselves, which may have really tied into their self-esteem, not feeling worthy of this connection because of other kind of this lack mentality that they'd been dealing with previously, but that all of that has shifted, and that they are now feeling confident within themselves, and therefore ready, willing, and able to kind of fight through the challenges and the distance and the circumstances that have kind of driven a wedge between you in the past. This can also talk about somebody who, any kind of wedge in terms of kind of a romantic connection from their past, or maybe somebody who was in the process of breaking up with somebody who was in the process of kind of getting a divorce, kind of dissolving a situation that might have come at like a great financial expense to them, or there was a fear of doing that, of moving in the direction of this connection more fully, because of how that kind of would impact them in some other way, that a solution has almost been reached to that, a problem that they might have been avoiding. It almost feels that it's corrected itself in some manner, that what they were almost fearing, this kind of fear of the bottom dropping out from under them, or this substantial loss that they may have literally incurred in the process of kind of working through some of these difficulties or difficult relationships in their life, that they have somehow kind of risen from the ashes. They're recreating themselves in some way. The problems that they had made in their head as being very insurmountable are now things that they are willing to overcome. They're willing to face. They have overcome these things in kind of a large way. They found a solution. They found another way out, a loophole almost, that is kind of helping them to alleviate a lot of the pressure that they might have had in the past, that kind of kept them at a distance, or kept them sort of pushing this connection away, or very kind of stubborn and resistant to sort of lean into this. It feels that this person may also come in, with this declaration that they want you back in their life. They're not comfortable in this feeling of being on the outskirts of your existence. They want to come back in from the cold. They want to work to rebuild this, or to see how the two of you can really, combine your efforts, combine your talents, combine forces, in order to, make kind of a way where there is no way currently, to come up with some kind of a creative strategy or a solution to kind of overcome some of these obstacles and challenges. This can also talk about some work that this person has done within themselves to, again, kind of step out of this lack mindset and move into an abundance mentality, and that the work that they have done within themselves is helping them to really summon that courage necessary to come back towards you, come back with some kind of an offer, a long-awaited conversation, or some kind of a declaration even, that they see you as their future. They see you as somebody they want to be with. wherever they've been in their life, it leaves them in that feeling of lack, and that they want to create something. They want to capitalize upon the potential that exists in this situation, and a feeling that they have that the two of you really are better together. You're able to overcome challenges together. They're interested. They want to do this instead of shying away from obstacles and kind of taking the easy way out. This is somebody who, you know, is very much interested at this point in time and working through that with you. Kind of excluding other things that might have been very alluring or enticing for them in the past, and kind of just very directly focused on this goal that they have for you, seeing another way to perhaps reach that end point, that destination, from whatever had kind of distracted them or made them feel that it was too much at a distance, it would take too much effort, it was too difficult in the past. They're seeing ease and solutions where before they only saw problems, difficulties, and obstacles. So let's see, what does this person want to tell you from their higher self, group 3? Okay, and they say, please don't take what happened personally. It's not you, it's me. So any kind of energy of resistance or being very stubborn, pushing you away, not investing more fully or you know, more consistently in this connection. There may be a lot that they reveal to you as well about some things going on with their finances and their career, a lot of pressures and stress that you were unaware of. That they hadn't been open with you about, not wanting to share these things because it was deeply tied in with their self-esteem, not wanting to burden you with the pressures that they were dealing with that might have caused them to, you know, be very distant or kind of pull away their attentions and efforts from this situation. But there's this almost this energy of renewal, wanting to invest, wanting to kind of give you some kind of reassurance, some kind of peace of mind, even if these are things that they are still working through and that they're not fully in a process of being, or in a place within themselves of being able to really commit to this connection, you know, to kind of move things forward to the next level. This does feel like communication on some level, where there's going to be some kind of truth and clarity that comes in that gives you that perspective. It kind of changes your mind in some way from what you thought was the problem, you thought was the culprit before, and you're able to kind of see things from their perspective, so that you're not taking it so personally, so that it's not kind of eroding your self-esteem on some level or making you question your worth, but you're able to see kind of what that sort of energy of kind of hesitation and resistance, what that was kind of coming from, even things in their past that this might have stemmed from that kind of made them resistant, hesitant to open up to love and to connection, that in some way there's vulnerability that's expressed that gives you this perspective. They also say, I am not the same person that you remember. So this can again talk about some difficulties that they have overcome, some challenges that they have had to face, some ways in which they have really been working to rebuild their stability, move out of that lack mentality or a literal stance of and condition of lack in their life, and that the tables have turned. They've come to this place of balance. They're feeling empowered. They're feeling good. They're ready to open up their heart and to, you know, be able to offer you something of value that they weren't able, or they didn't feel they were able and ready to give in the past. They also say, I miss you regardless of how things seem. So again, if this has been a long time coming, this communication from this person, you've been at a distance for a while, they just kind of pushed you away or pulled away their attentions from this situation. It almost feels that whatever they were needing to focus on, even if this is fear, even if this is a lack mentality, even if this was someone who had experienced heartbreak in the past, maybe some kind of devastation, maybe even a divorce or a series of divorces that were very costly to them, and it made them really hesitant to kind of give love another chance, you know, and it's been something that they've needed to work through. It's this challenge that they've been needing to kind of overcome and move into that energy of trust, that in that space of silence and kind of resistance and guardedness, there has been this deep draw to open up themselves more fully to you into this connection, to return to your energy, to return to your life. Okay, and they say, you were the love of my life. I didn't figure that out before. I know that it's true now. So something along these lines can be a declaration that some of you might be hearing from this person, that they want you in their life. You're their forever person. You're the person that they want to kind of move forward with. You're a person who adds to the measure of their life in a way that they've not been able to kind of replicate in other situations. That as much as they've had some challenges they need to face, it's been a lonely road for them, but it's been necessary. This person might also be explaining to you that any kind of hesitation, again, it's not something that's wrong with you. It's something within them, some fear that they've been needing to kind of move beyond, to face and to address. And so they're coming closer into that place of truth, moving out of that lack mentality, seeing the possibility that whatever the narrative of love has been for them in the past, that it doesn't need to be the case in this scenario, that this love, this connection with the two of you share together energetically, that this is worth investing and it's worth taking a chance on this. They also say, you were my best friend and I cherished our friendship above all others. So this person really sets you apart in a lot of ways. In terms of just the ability to relate to you, a sense of knowing that that you've always had their best interest at heart, that, there's almost this feeling of feeling bad that they weren't more open with you about some of the stresses, the strains in other areas of their life, fears that they may have had, any kind of wrong impression that they had given you about their intentions, about their feelings for you, about their desires for you, and any ways in which their guardedness or an element of distraction, something else, an obligation that they may have had, the ways in which that kind of drove a wedge in between the both of you. There's a desire to kind of move beyond that energy, to move back into that state of closeness with one another. They also say, can you let go of the past and forgive me? Can you trust me again with your heart? So somebody who made a choice to move in one direction is now making a 180-degree turn, a long time coming, kind of that energy of at the 11th hour. They've realized something. They have, acutely felt that sting, that out in the cold energy, that it doesn't feel good to be at a distance from you. It doesn't feel good to not, have you by their side, to not have that closeness. They miss the friendship. They miss the intimate times. They miss the potential that existed between the both of you. So for a lot of you, this can be an apology that's coming in, or just some kind of a clarity, some kind of truth, a deeper understanding of their circumstances than you may have been working with previously. And they're hoping that this will be enough if they just provide you some of this evidence. They let down their guard. They speak on these fears. They speak on the hesitation. They speak on whatever had them distracted before, that it will be enough to kind of earn back your trust, to kind of gain access to your life again, so that you too can start over, so that you can rebuild or move forward from wherever you find yourselves currently. Okay, and they say, I'm sorry, I panicked and let my fears mess things up. So this can again be that lack mentality, something triggered within this person, maybe about circumstances of love and loss in the past, a fear of maybe losing themselves completely to this connection, or in some way kind of replicating mistakes that they had made in romances in the past, giving too much of themselves and finding themselves at a loss, at a lack, not really knowing who they are, dissolving fully into connections, and then needing to kind of rebuild themselves from the ground up. That could have been experiences that they had in the past. And so when you dealt with this person, the version of them that you were interacting with was, a little bit skeptical, a little bit hesitant, almost being a little too stubborn in how quickly they were opening up and allowing themselves to really surrender to this, to the presence of this, to the momentum and what you two were sharing and had the ability to build together. And so again, this can talk about some kind of an apology that they are wanting to deliver to you, where they have, summoned the strength, they've summoned the courage to face these fears and interest in working through these things with you, as opposed to continue to fight this and push this connection away. They also say, I lose myself in dreams about a life together. So they see you as somebody that they want in their future. They see you as their forever person, the love of their life, which might be quite surprising based on what has happened between you. Maybe a lack of demonstration that this person has given about the true nature of their feelings. But it's this intensity, this sense of forever that may have really put them into this panic mode. This sense too of some things that they needed to build or rebuild, wanting to be in that place of security within themselves, within their finances, within the life that they have, to be able to, provide you with something of value, to be able to match your efforts. Somebody who didn't want to be dependent upon you, but wanted to come towards you in that energy of having all their ducks in a row. And in the process of whatever they've been trying to build, or the stability they've been trying to establish or reestablish for themselves, you've been in their heart through this process. Thoughts of you and what can really grow out of this, kind of how the two of you can really enjoy in this kind of prosperity, even internally, even emotionally, that this person is cultivating. That's been with them through this process. They also say, I pretended I didn't care, but it hurt to let you go. So if they had kind of pushed you away, maybe chosen to move in another direction, something to do with a sense of obligation to, other kind of commitments, something to do with, maybe choosing to move to another location that kind of put you both at a distance. It ended the connection. It left you, with a lot more obstacles to overcome than ease of flow. This is a circumstance that, it felt like the best choice at the time, but it has left them with this energy of regret, of really having moved away from what resonates with them at the soul level, what resonates with them at the heart level. They've carried that hurt as much as they may not have shown it, have demonstrated that. They've kind of gone cold or distracted themselves or immersed themselves fully in whatever it is that, they were prioritizing or needing to work on. That feelings of you, thoughts of you have remained with them. They have endured through all this time that hurt, and they are now at this place in their life of wanting to present something to you, some kind of an explanation, some kind of clarity, this hope that you two can move beyond whatever these circumstances were, wanting to kind of give you some sort of peace of mind, some kind of an explanation, wanting to show up in a solid and reliable energy to you to make up for any kind of indecision or flightiness that they might have demonstrated in the past. So I'm going to get some guidance from Spirit for you now, Group 3, about the situation. Okay, and we have you asked your angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So this is really guidance from Spirit to, continue to pray for this person, continue to, pray for the best good of both of you in these circumstances. Guidance as well, that you are not alone in this process, in this struggle. Hold out hope for this. Not put your life on hold, but trust that a way will be made for this person. It will be shown to this person. The way forward will become evident for the two of you. And it feels like there's a lot of love between you, even in this stance of separation and distance and the confusion that might have occurred and you might have still both really been kind of lingering with, that there's healing that's available here. Your spirit guides, your angels, source, the universe, they want to help you with this. They don't want you to kind of remain in this energy of lack and this energy of want. That, the first step to transformation is really transforming how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your circumstances internally. And when you seek to cultivate that vibration within you, when you seek to kind of be that source of healing within yourself, first and foremost, regardless of kind of the actions that another person takes or doesn't take, then this helps to magnetize in that vibration of forgiveness and kind of that vibration of, restitution within yourself. You can definitely, ask for help in this, ask for healing within this, healing for yourself first and foremost, which, opens up the pathway. It creates a vibration within you that encourages this person to step forward. They see you as that kind of energetic safe space where they are able to then progress with their truth. They're able to, again, deliver maybe that apology that's a long time coming, that declaration that's a long time coming. Somebody who's been needing to work for a while through these challenges in various areas of their life. And what they really need at this point in time is your loving encouragement to stay the course, to stick with whatever it is they've been trying to work through. And also really seeking that guidance from your own kind of spirit team for what is necessary for you. What are the next steps that you're needing to take so that you're not just putting your life on hold. You're not staying out in the cold. You're stepping into the light of what is possible. You're creating abundance for yourself in other ways. And that should be really your primary objective in this situation. Help yourself before you can really help another. But that there is an angelic light that is surrounding this connection. This connection is very much protected. The two of you are individually faced with your own kind of series of challenges that have been triggered, or that were obstacles between kind of the fruition of this connection and that actualization of potential becoming known. And so at this point in time, prayer and meditation can really help you with that. It can help you to kind of identify the way forward to a place of coming into peace with however long it may take this person to arrive, the potential that they might get sidetracked, or as much as they may have these good intentions of kind of delivering you this truth, that there's always that possibility that they can kind of shrink back into that energy of fear. But that first and foremost, you need to liberate yourself from this. You need to be that source of healing. You need to come to that place of understanding within yourself that whatever was projected upon you in whatever ways this person pulled back, it was not to do with a deficit within you. It's something within this person that they have been needing to work on, some kind of shadow that was triggered, or some kind of other circumstances that you're not aware of, other kind of variables that you're not aware of. So you're guided to kind of move into this space of compassion and understanding, even for the things that you don't know about, that there's more than meets the eye in this circumstance. And to really just pray for coming into that place of peace and forgiveness. Forgiveness within self, for self, first and foremost. And when you come into that place of really peace and acceptance, it can help you to, again, magnetize in vibrations that are in keeping with that. So I'm going to get some initials for you now. Group 3. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got Z, N, A, P, K, C, I, Q, S, H, U, O, and W. So those are your messages, group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. When you do that, it helps the reading to reach others who might resonate with these messages, get some kind of peace or confirmation with what came through, and it also helps my channel to grow, so I deeply appreciate that as well. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking any of that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.